You guys, I guess, like planning to go international, or you already have international schemes too already?
Yeah, it's funny you said that. So we've at our I'm also on our board. We have a board 5 board members on our board, and we're doing long-term planning, like where do we want to go as an organization. One of the potential routes we've discussed is more international. So we do get international students. We don't have restrictions there, so we do get international students that sign up for our classes. The main reason why that's not very big is because of time zones and availability. So our classes are they're live classes, and they're convenient for, like, I'd say, a North and South America type of time zones. They're not convenient for Europe or Asia usually. And so we do get some students from those areas, but they're attending class at 4 a.m. their time or something like that. It's very inconvenient for them. And to do that, we've talked about maybe recruiting some teachers and starting some classes at other times. In order to do that, we looked at maybe recruiting some teachers maybe in Europe or something like that, to start to add another kind of time zone slot into our teaching schedule. There's some complexity to all that, obviously. Like, how do we find volunteers? How do we recruit them? How do we train them? How do we make sure that that's healthy enough there's enough to have, like, substitute teachers and all that if they have to be busy? How do we find students in that area? We're not marketing in that market too much right now. So how do we get the word out there to fill classes? And I guess another thing I'll mention is, like, another thing about leadership is deciding on focus. Like, we only have so much energy in our organization, so we could grow curriculum partnerships more. We could go look for more grants. We could go, in Europe and Asia, we could grow in those areas. We could, we could work on our in-person, events, planning those, doing more of that. There's all these things we could do, so we have to decide where do we put our energy and when. So I would say that what you talked about, working more internationally, is something we're interested in, but we have to decide, when is the right time for that. Oh, there's another thing. We got a nonprofit in Kenya that contacted us about whether we can help with. It's more of a curriculum partnership type thing, because they have people that can teach, but they don't have curriculum or equipment. So there's a potential from a time zone that perspective that doesn't have the same issues for us, because we're not supplying the volunteers. We'd just be supplying curriculum and technology to them. So there's a potential partnership we're working on. It's kind of early. I've only been talking to them for maybe a month now, but we might be starting that in Kenya. But yeah, what we described about running online courses more internationally, that's something we might do. We'll have to see how that pans out in the future with the resources we have.
Yeah, you talked about sponsorships and grants, right? Is there any crossover with OtterBox in terms of these interactions or support?
My work has volunteering grants they give out to organizations that the employees are volunteering at, and so they've gotten, I guess been able to get about $1,000 in the last year or so from Otter Products to Robotics, for all mostly associated with my volunteering with the organization. There's some grants they offer too, but those are the way the Otter Cares Foundation runs their grants is that they're restricted to organizations that are volunteering in the geographic location of San Diego or Northern Colorado. And so it depends on, we operate more, across the country. And so I would have to tie those grants to be eligible to apply for some of their grants. I would have to associate them with a program we're doing in one of those two areas, which might happen. I just haven't done that yet because we only have a few things going on in those specific areas. So yeah, I guess we'll see how much more in the future, but yeah, some already, some financial support already due to my volunteering mostly, and those individual grants we're able to give to the organizations that we volunteer for. Yeah, fundraising is I've never heard of a nonprofit that doesn't care at least a little bit about fundraising, unless they're a corporate foundation, and then it's the opposite. They're trying to give away money and find out how to give away money, right? Where they should give it away. But 501c3s that exist, and are usually looking for funding. So it's how do you financially sustain your organization is always an important topic.